Now, out of the 3 films that Wes Craven was most involved in when it comes to the Elm Street movies, what are your favorites? Because we know that he was involved in Elm Street 1, Elm Street 3, and New Nightmare.
Oh, dude, that's tough because one of them isn't even anywhere close to my top on the list. First one would be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Second would actually be number 4, and third would actually be the third one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, out of the 3 that he was involved with, because we know he wrote the script for 3, we know that he directed the first one and wrote it, and we know that he wrote New Nightmare and directed it.
Well, then I would only have 2.
Okay.
You know,
so what would be your favorite?
First and the third.
The first and the third?
And I'm not saying that I didn't like New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Because I did like New Nightmare, but I like number 4 a lot more better, you know, and would put 4 above 3. Because I thought the story structure in 4 was really good and really dark. While it did have comedic elements to it,
yeah,
I thought it was, you know, really dark at times too.
Oh, well, for me, I out of those 3, I mean, I'm not talking about the entire series, but I really like 4 too, to tell you the truth. But for me, out of those, 3 that he was involved in, I would say Nightmare on Elm Street and New Nightmare were my favorite. Because New Nightmare, he was kind of like re-envisioning something. And I kind of like how he changed Freddy. He was trying something different, I thought. Because, when Wes Craven talks about the series, he said that the series kind of went downhill a little bit because none of a lot of the movies don't have anything to do with each other. I mean, number 4 and 5 do, but when you get to like Freddy's Dead, then it goes in a totally different direction. So
3, 4, and 5 have connections to one another.
Yeah, I know.
You missed 3.
Yeah, exactly. But when it got to like Freddy's Dead, then he knew he had to re-envision it because he wanted to bring back the whole idea of Nancy, because Nancy was dead. So the only way he could actually make Freddy come back was to totally step out of the movie. It was almost original idea.
Well, I don't know how much he was involved in on this, but I actually thought the whole Freddy versus Jason concept, I thought that was a great way to bring it back. I mean, I know there's some disagreements that being, equal to being part Freddy movie and part Jason movie, but in all essence, it was more a Nightmare movie than anything, because first thing you saw when the movie began was all the, clips of the other Nightmare movies about how, Freddy came not to be anymore and not to be able to kill anymore. So yeah. I thought that was, a good setup.
Yeah, definitely. What about Shocker? Did you really like that film?
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember quite a bit about that film. And yes, I did. I like Shocker.
Yeah. So if you could pick one Wes Craven movie out of all the movies he made to be remade, what film would you say should be remade?
Oh, that's so tough. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they could maybe remake the Surfing and the Rainbow, or they could maybe remake Shocker. Although I think if they remake Shocker, they should go a more darker route with it than what it was, because at times the movie was dark, and then like a whole bunch of times it was like, really comedic.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't even say Surfing and the Rainbow, and in all essence, what it boils down to, I wouldn't want any Wes Craven films to really be remade, but
I remember Wes Craven himself saying that the next movie he would like to see be remade was Shocker. I remember him saying in an interview that was the next film he would like to see somebody remake. But I mean, I could see that how Shocker would be a really good concept, especially right now. And I agree, they could make it a lot darker. I mean,
I think probably if I would pick one person that could remake Shocker and make it darker and do justice to it, it would actually be David Fincher.
Dave Fincher?
Yes. He did the really good remake to, while others don't think this should have been remade, to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoos. And then he also did Seven, which was a really great film. And he also did the movie, what was it, Fallen with Denzel Washington, which basically almost had the same concept as Shocker, about a dead inmate basically coming back to life and, possessing people and all that stuff. And I thought both those films, Seven and Fallen, were both great films.
Yeah.